Not really a whole lot going on there. And AUVI looking okay. It's doing a little bit of barcoding, a little bit of spotty price action, but so far it's looking not too bad. So we'll see when the market opens here. HCTI, nice volatile candle. BKSY not really doing a whole lot. ADN's breaking down. CDU's heading up. So first trade's probably going to be on CDU here. We're going to go with CDU at about 6. I would like to get in 670, but I don't know if that's going to happen. We're going to aim for 750 with a 650 stop loss. We're going to get 20 cents from wherever we get in. That's kind of the goal here. So we're going to go CDU. Got in pretty high, so it looks like my stop loss is going to be about entry, so 670 here. Oh, don't want that to be yellow. We want that to be red, pink, whatever color that actually is. We could probably start looking to take profit on this around that 720, 730 mark. 717, 718, there's going to be a little bit of resistance there. That's something we want to keep an eye on. AUVI is looking half decent as well. HCTI is looking like it breaks above that VWAP. That's something we want to see. So we can jump in on HCTI here as well. Probably we're looking at about $1.51 as an entry. We're going to be looking at $1.75 for a PT here and $1.45 for a stop loss. We might not quite get $1.75. That is pretty high up there. We see two resistance lines we have to break through, so that's something we got to really keep in mind here. So we got a 145 stop out. It's very volatile. This could be a really big win here, but it could also be a pretty quick loss as well. We did take a nasty dip here. If you didn't take your entry at 780 is not looking too bad. 770 is right around the corner. You could, or 670 is probably right around the corner here, and you could probably jump in there. AUVI, we're going to take 3 trades here because AUVI is looking really good too. We don't want to get it at the top band here unless we see a breakthrough, so we'll buy that 285. We're going to aim for that 315 mark and then a 275 stop out. So we're going to give it about 10 cents here. 275 is quite the drop, so we're hoping we don't need to come anywhere close to hitting that. We did see a nasty drop here to 285. That was a really good entry. That's what we wanted to see, and we basically got exactly that. So even at 296 from 285, not bad. We could start to take some profits there just to secure it. So we're going to go ahead and say securing some profits on AUVI here to a 278, 285. 295, about 295. If you get a little bit higher, that's even better, but 10 cents either way is not bad. And that other trade was HCTI with quite the breakdown, actually. So this would probably be a good place to be looking to get in if you haven't already. Looks like it might bounce. Yeah, I would say that now is definitely a good time to get in. So if you haven't made that entry on HCTI, now would be the time. Rev and AERC, we can definitely take a look at those. So we'll go with Rev first. Rev is looking pretty decent. And AERC has been running for quite some time. Wow, big candles. Look at that. Going from about 1750 all the way to 1930. Yeah, this one's looking like it really wants to make some moves today, so that's definitely good news for us. AUVI is back down in that middle area. Let's see here. CDU's up quite a bit here. We're back up to just over that $7 mark. Not quite a bit, about 10 cents from entry, but we are hoping we start to make new highs here. We'll have to give that a minute and see. ADN's kind of all over the place. BKSY starting to move. We're starting to see a breakdown on HCTI here from that entry around 143. So depending where you got in, you might be getting close to stop out. My stop out's going to be about 138 here. Where's 138? It's right there. So we're really close to that stop out. I could have probably moved it a little bit lower to be safer, but you know what? I can't really justify having a stop further down. So we're hoping that it holds on this line and starts to move back up because we are pretty risky with that stop loss, but we really can't afford to give it much more than that. So we'll just cross our fingers here and hope it goes back up. Pretty bullish candles, so it's looking kind of good there. CDU looking really good as we hit that 716 mark. Hopefully you had a chance there to take some profits because it looks like it dropped all the way
Order
down. Could have
partially
potentially
filled.
stopped you out there. Now it's definitely stopping you out if you didn't
Order
take those
partially
profits.
filled.
So
Order filled.
let's go ahead and make sure we give that a call. Okay. On CDU, if you didn't take profits on that spike. And we're looking at BKSY starting to go up
Order
again.
partially
HCTI still holding. It hasn't
Order
stopped us
filled.
out quite yet, but it got real close.
Order
So
cancelled.
got to keep an eye on that. AUVI back down after hitting that 297 mark. So we took some profits. We still have a little bit in here. It's down to 280. Hit that 284 area again. Hopefully it starts to come up a little bit more here. BKSY is looking like it's actually running here, so that's something we need to keep an eye on. So we're gonna go BKSY, potential entry around 277. We're going to be looking at about a 295 PT with a 267 stop loss. So 267 is going to be right about there. We're looking for a 277 entry. You just give it about 10 cents from wherever you get in. ACTI starts to move back up to 143. It looks like we're basically hitting the bottom here. It's still pretty risky, in my opinion. CDU, we could take another entry on, not quite ready with that one yet. AUVI is holding pretty well. We had a nasty drop on Rev. AERC still sitting up pretty high. Not a lot of data to go off of here. Looks like it'd be basically gambling to jump in on that one right at this point.
Order partially filled.
BKSY not looking like it wants to come down. HCTI looking like it's probably going to head up. It should be heading
Order
up here pretty
partially filled.
quick, but we're not seeing a lot
Order
of bullish
filled.
momentum.
Order partially filled.
We'll give it a moment here. Good morning. We're breaking down a little bit from that support line there. BKSY at 290. We did hit 292 out of that. ADN's on its way down. CDU still kind of bouncing around. I'd like to maybe get in at about 665 on CDU. We could probably look at getting in. 665. We're gonna aim for $7 and a six. Let's give it a 650 stop loss, so about 15 cents. That puts us below that 200 EMA, which is where we want to be, right there. Get rid of this one. We're looking at 665 as an entry here. AUVI looking like it's heading down. If it breaks down much further, I'd say cut it. I don't think it will, though. This is probably a good place for a turnaround, so we might be looking to take an entry here. In fact, I actually kind of want to take another entry on AUVI at this spot here. So we're going to go AUVI about 280, I don't know, 282. We're going to go for a 295 PT and then a 2, probably just a 276 stop loss, I'm thinking. Yeah, let's go 276. We don't really need to give it too much room here. So we're going to be about there, and it's going to be AUVI. So anywhere between like 280 and 284 would probably be a good entry. And then we've got CDU as a re-entry here around that 665 mark. Looking pretty good on CDU as it turns around. BKSY starting to head down finally. HCTI has yet to stop us out, has yet to move up, just kind of sitting around doing not a whole lot of anything. AUVI turning around nicely here, so that was a good entry on our part. Looking half decent. Rev makes a decent recovery here, going from about 390 up to about $4. AERC back down a little bit here, nothing crazy. I don't know, maybe see this around that 200 EMA, and that could be a potential entry on it. What else we got popping up? CEAD we could take a look at. Everything we have here is looking half decent though. Except HCTI, which we might want to take a break even on if we can, because this is not looking great. I'm just going to go for a break even on it. Oops. Taking a break even on HCTI. Looks like if you didn't take a break even or something a little bit higher, you probably are stopping out if you use the same stop loss I did. AUVI is in fact still moving up. We have BKSY with a nasty breakdown. All right, so this is our entry on BKSY. Getting in around that 270 mark. So we were looking to leave about 10 cents on BKSY. So if we're getting around here at 270, we're looking at about a 260 stop loss. We are breaking down a little bit from that 200 EMA. We could still see this drop down into our stop here, but you know that's kind of the risk we're taking with this stock. So we'll take that risk. We'll see what happens with that. HCTI, man, this one's not even bouncing. So let's go ahead and look at CE80. CE80 is looking okay here, going from about $1.29 to $1.60. That's a huge climb and back down so far. So maybe we'll see that move again. G-Box we can take a look at. Whoops. That one's not too great. That one's a little spotty. We've got Paya. Paya's looking okay here. We're going from 570 to 640. Kind of spotty price action. It's sitting up really high right now. Volume's not really there, so probably best to leave that alone. BKSY starting to turn around here. CDU up near that $7 mark. That was in fact PT, so we can start to take profits on that. All right. 703, looking good. AUVI at that 290 mark. We did see that hit 292. We're looking for 295. We could start to take profits on that as well.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
Yeah, we're pretty high up on AUVI here, so that's not bad. I think CDU could probably run back up to that 720 area, so we'll hopefully see that. BKSY continues its breakdown here. You could definitely take an exit with a smaller stop if you want. This isn't looking great. Our next support line is actually below our stop, so this is the kind of area between your stop loss and your price target where you might be considering taking that cut because there's really nothing holding us up at this point. So it would just be an unneeded loss. So we're gonna go ahead and cut BKSY here. Cut that for a small loss. HCTI might be playable if it can start to turn around here at some point. BKSY, I'll think about a re-entry if we touch this support line here at about 258, or if we start to move back up to 265. It looks like it's making a recovery so far. Why is Rev still running? It's I don't know, just volume. CLVS is doing well as well. We can take a look at that. Clovis Technologies. Okay, so we've got CLVS running from about $1.29 today to $1.60. Looking pretty good, healthy uptrend here. It's a little steep, but probably due for a decent pullback, at least down to VWAP. So that's something we're gonna have to keep an eye on. CDU does in fact run up to about 715. You could start to take more profits there on CDU.
Order partially filled.
Might even get up to like 720 here.
Order partially filled.
AUVI back down to that 280 mark here, so we might see this look like another entry when we hit this VWAP line. We can get rid of that now. When we hit that VWAP line, or 200 EMA line, sorry. Rev, its range is pretty tight right now. I'm not really seeing much I like on that one. CEAD going back up, it's heading back up, so that's some good news for us. We could probably maybe take a play on this. I feel like this one's pretty risky. You need a really tight stop loss. You're looking at like a 4-cent stop, which happens on this very, very quickly. So that could be a big problem for us right there. CLVS starting to hit a little bit of a pullback here. AUVI is almost down to that 200 EMA, which we will consider probably an entry. Yeah, BKSY ran up. Yeah, it did. A little bit there, yeah. AUVI, yeah, I'm gonna say we're gonna take another AUVI trade here at probably looking at about a 276. We're going to be aiming for that 290 mark anyway, and then just a 270 stop out. We're not looking at a huge stop here. We don't need a lot of room. In fact, 270 is probably plenty of room here. So if you can manage to get in, but anywhere between like 279, you can put a stop loss anywhere below this 200 EMA. So even like 274 would be okay. Okay, so AUVI is looking like it's on its way back up. We have Sea-Doo tapping out there at 718. Looks like it's coming back down. So hopefully you secured most of the profit there. ADN looks like it could potentially go as it breaks through that VWAP line. We want to see this kind of break through this next resistance as well, or retest that VWAP. Yeah, doesn't look like it's going to do that right this second. Big knife there on BKSY back down. It's looking like sort of bullish here. We could potentially try, if we can get an entry down here at 260. I think it might be decent. We'd have to really work on that, though. We'd have to get BKSY pretty much exactly 260, though. We'll try for 261 on it. We're going to aim for 280. And then A2, even 280 seems like super doable at this point. And then a 250, give it a 252 stop. So 252 is going to be about right here. We'll see if we can what we can do with that here. Sea-Doo probably going to come back down. Hopefully comes back down back to the like 670, 665 area. That way we can take another entry. AUVI is looking good, heading all the way up to 286. Rev, nice green candle here. Looks big, 392 to 404. So looking about a 10-cent candle. Those aren't terrible. CEAD continues on its way up. So we're going to go ahead and look for a CEAD entry. We're looking to take a pretty risky one, probably about $1.65. We're going to be looking at $1.90 PT and $1.60 stop loss. So 5-cent stop loss from where you get it. So if we get $1.65, you're looking at a stop loss $1.60. But really depends on where you jump in, because with a stock like this, it's so hard to pinpoint an exact entry. You basically take an entry and fingers crossed. Better to buy on a dip than it is to buy on a rip. $1.63 entry, there we go. I'll take it. So at $1.63, we're looking at about $1.58 for a stop. Enter $1.63 CEAD, $1.58 stop. You know what? $1.63 to $1.73. We're already not bad. Gonna secure some of that profit at $1.73. Or ish, you might get a little more out of it, a little less out of it, something like that. We're at $1.78 right now, so that's where I'm securing profit. That's what I'm doing right this second, because we're up really high now. That was a very solid move, so we're securing some profit. We're leaving quite a bit in here. I wouldn't say quite a bit, the average, to try and get some extra out of this. I'm hoping we hit at least $1.90 out of it, but I'm not going to get too greedy if we don't have to. It's hard to kind of look away from it. BKSY, nice turnaround here, back up to 275 so far. I'm going to make sure I log all the trades, because I've been taking quite a few of them. AUVI, BKSY. Okay, no, that's it, I guess. I thought we were taking more than that. AUVI back down a little bit here. It looks like it's going to be touching that entry point again. So if you didn't get in the first time, this could be another opportunity for that. BKSY, it looks like it's curling down a little bit, but it did hit as high as 275 here. And we have CEAD at 180 here, touching a high of 184. Not too bad, not too bad. Looking pretty decent on that. AERC is up pretty high here at 1970. This one's kind of like Seed as well. It looks like it's just kind of running. CLVS does hit that pullback that we wanted it to hit, so we're actually going to go ahead and jump in on CLVS here. About $1.50. If we can get in $1.48, I'm going to try for $1.48, but I don't know. We're gonna try for about $1.65 on it, and then $1.44 stop out. Does that work? Yeah, $1.44 should work. That brings us a little bit below the VWAP line there, which is basically what we're aiming for. Rev up to 406 here. CE80 back at 180. BKSY still kind of struggling. So BKSY in at about 264, 265 area. So hopefully we start to see this actually make some plays and move up. We saw ACTI break down a little bit more here. CDU starting to head up some more. AUVI took a little bit of a nasty dip there down to 273. Could be a really good entry opportunity because it does look like it's recovering from that 200 EMA. We have Seed here taking a little bit of a dip, and we have a little bit of a recovery on CLVS so far. Looking good on CLVS. Seed still looks pretty safe from our entry. Unless we hit a massive, massive knife, we should be okay with the remainder. AUVI starting to move up again. BKSY looking decent here around that 275 area. I would say we could probably secure some profits around 275. Secure some profits on BKSY 275. I'm not looking to get another break even or small loss on it. I'd like to secure some of those profits. Are we waiting for entry? Oh, on BKSY? Yeah, I missed that. Yeah, we were kind of waiting for entry, but you know what? It's one of those things where it's hard. If you wait for the entry, you might miss it. If you don't wait for the entry, you could just get in too high. ACCI curling. Yeah, it might be curling. I don't know. I would like to wait for it to either hit the next support line, which is the 200 EMA, or break through the next resistance, which is 142. We'll see which one happens first. BKSY looking okay. C to 172, CLVS up real high here at 158. That is a decent place to take some profit if you got in around 150. We're at 159. 160 is probably a good place to take some profits. So I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. Secure some profits on CE80 at 160. Just because 165, it's not out of reach, but it's it's a little up there. So if you can secure some profits beforehand on CLVS, all the power to you. Looks like 161 is a good place to secure, so we're going to do that. CE80 is back up to 180 here. AUVI still struggling. This might look like a good place to cut your runner if you took some profits on AUVI earlier around that 288 mark. Depending, if you're holding the whole thing, I would definitely be a little worried about it right now. We're seeing a pretty clear downtrend, which could be a big problem. CLVS at 163 here. We did touch 165, which is PT. CLVS. CEAD is looking pretty good here as well. Kind of looks like we're topping out though at that 184 area. So keep that in mind that we haven't really broken through at 184 yet. Rev, yeah, it's definitely ranging. I would like to see a new high before the stock gets me even a little bit excited. BKSY as well has just kind of been in this really, really tight range. We still have a little bit left in this trade, but I'm not willing to let it go just yet. ACTI is looking to break through that 142 resistance, so we're going to see how that goes. Could be good. CLVS did hit PT, yep. Took my own play on ACTI. There you go. Looking good so far. We'll see. We'll see. We've got AVI still, yeah, looking pretty iffy at this point. PT's 145. You'll have to ask Jackal to quickly buy in and sell out for a small loss so it can move up. We've got just under $7 here on Sea-Doo. It hasn't really been moving around too much, honestly. It's okay so far. It's nothing fantastic. AUVI is definitely breaking down, but if you're not out of it yet, there's still this last support line here at 271 that might save you. I wouldn't really be betting on it. It hit your PT. There you go. Yeah, we just touched just touched that 145 area. Looks like it might even go further. Yeah. BKSY, should you cut it? I mean, like, I'm still holding my runner. I don't think I'm going to cut it quite yet. We're holding on the support line really well. I do think that this is due to move up. We're just about on that crossover at that MACD, so I think we're going to see at least a little bit of a run up here. We might get rejected at that 277 mark, but it's kind of hard to say. I would say that, yeah, I would say I'm going to hold it a little bit longer and see. If it starts to break down from the support line, I would be cutting it for sure.
Order partially filled. Order cancelled.
HCTI with a big
filled.
spike going all the way up to 167. Look at that Magic Jackal. He definitely bought and sold for you. That's awesome. So far, AUVI is still holding above that support line. We have CEAD with a little bit of a nasty dip. It looks like it did get rejected on that 184 level, as we were talking about. We did hit 165 a few times on CLVS. I'm not sure if it's going to go higher. I would think it will. Our stop loss is safe, so we still have a little bit left in this trade, but you know what? I do think it's probably going to come down for a pullback. Yeah, on the 5 minutes, definitely due for a pullback, so we'll have to see. CEAD, what does that look like on the 5 minute? We've hit a couple half decent pullbacks on it, but I still think we're due for a big pullback on CEAD as well. And we still have a little bit left in that. BKSY, it kind of bouncing all around. We did slightly break down, but we came back pretty strong. We've been sitting around that 273 mark for quite some time. Oh, you guys. HCTI looks like it's probably going to be breaking back down a little bit here. We can actually move that
Order
line.
cancelled.
But yeah, that was definitely some probably either a whale buying or institutional buying, because that was just like 1 million shares in
Order partially filled.
less than 30 seconds. So I'm
Order filled.
assuming that was just one buyer. Maybe it was Ross Cameron or something. Who knows? We've got AUVI still looking like it might come back here. Yeah, just barely. Not very strong. I would say it's probably a pretty weak stock to be playing right now, but there you go, 284 on it. So if you're still holding, you still have the runner in it. It's looking half decent. I would be looking for an out here, though. Yeah, it looks like I don't think it can hold that kind of spike. So I'll have to see what that has in store. CEAD back up a little bit here. CLVS is looking for that dip. We'll see how far down that dip takes us. Probably close to that 200 or VWAP line. We'll probably stop around that 152 area again. Could be another potential entry if we get down there. We'll have to see. CEAD not really doing a whole lot here. CDU not doing a whole lot. AU or ADN here hasn't really moved, so I think we're likely to close the stock down here as we hit this 7 o'clock area where things start to really slow down. So maybe we'll swap this out for something like SYM, or if we can find something else that's not looking good. We're not going to even bother touching that. MGNX. MGNX is looking okay here. 251 all the way to 270. Yeah, pretty short on that range, but I think it's still playable. CDU. Yeah, that one's pretty tight too. We got quite a few things here. We got BNR we could look at. Yeah, that one's doing okay, I guess. We've got TBLT. Looking all right. HCTI, yeah, I don't know about that yet. I think I might be waiting to see it actually break through that resistance. Obviously, somebody else was waiting to see it break through that resistance too, and they decide they're going to pile up 1 million shares on it. So we'll see what that has in store for it. AUVI hits a high 284 twice, comes back down a little bit. Rev still not really worth playing. AERC, this is looking pretty good here. That you have that support area built up. Bottom band is up there now. AERC could be a run up to $21, $22, $23, something like that. ADN, of course, as soon as I close down ADN. Now we need to see it. ADN's breaking down way past that 200 EMA, so this is not something we want to touch. What else we got? We got
Order
GTX showing
partially
up, but we
filled.
know that's not really great.
Order
I think
filled.
we have basically everything that's going to be moving. CLVS is looking okay. We're back up to that 180 mark on CE80. Hopefully, if we can break that 184, this might actually run. Rev, not really worth playing. AUVI, not really worth playing. CDU, not really worth playing. We got a lot of things that are just kind of like meh. Same with BKSY. We have all these things that are like, they should be running. They look like they're ready to do it, but they're just not doing it yet. We'll have to come back to these. Hopefully, we start to see some good movement out of them. CEAD breaks it at 184 and starts running all the way up to 189. Just about 191 there. Looks like we could probably take some profits here if you want to, but we're in a pretty good pull here, so we might see a little bit more out of it. We're at 192. It'd be great to hit that 195 area. If we can hit that top band, I'm sure this will probably keep going. Yeah, I wouldn't say the ADN's quite running it. More or less breaking down. This is probably a dead cat bounce. We've got seed here, 193. We hit that 195 area. I'm going to start to take profits, cut the rest of our seed trade. Taking the rest out of CEAD. Not bad. We went from about $1.63 to $1.90 on seed, so that's massive. That's actually a huge trade. CLVS almost back down to that entry point we were talking about at 152. So we'll see. It might break down all the way to that VWAP line. So we'll just have to kind of use our own discretion whether or not we want to jump into 152 or wait a little bit more for that maybe possible 150, 149 entry. CE80 is still looking like it might go further. I'm going to be a little sad if it does because I'm all out of shares to sell now. But maybe if we hit a decent pullback and we come back down close to that 180 level, we could potentially try another play on it and see if we can get another entry. I may have been a little trigger happy with selling this, but you know what? We are so far in profit; it's really hard not to. So you don't want to pull back or break down. I would say that, well, not so much a pullback. We haven't really had much of a run to call it a pullback, but I wouldn't consider it a breakdown quite yet. If we break down from the 200 EMA, I would definitely call it a breakdown. Right now, it's looking like it's probably at a proper place to be looking for an entry position and then putting a stop loss below that 200 EMA somewhere. So we could be looking at taking another CDU play here. So we're looking at about a 678 entry, maybe a little lower if you can. We're going to look for a 715 PT on it, and then a 6. I'll give it a 662 stop loss, I think. Yeah, if you can get in lower, I don't know, just wherever you get in, basically give it like, I don't know, 12, 15 cents, something like that. So if we're getting here at 674, CDU. Okay, 669 is not bad. I'll take that any day of the week. 669. So we're basically, yeah, I'll stick with that 662 entry. I don't know why what the hell was that? That's not what I meant to do.
Order filled.
We're gonna go
Order partially filled.
Press the wrong. I pressed control something. But any case, we got 669 out of it. Not terrible. It could have gotten a little bit better if I was a little bit more patient. CE80 at 207 here. This thing is going nuts. So we're going to go ahead and jump back in on CE80 because this is not going back down. At least not yet, and I kind of want to jump in on it. So we're going to go for a 205-ish entry. We're going to give it about 10 cents a room. So we're going to go for like, whatever. We're going to go for a 245. Not 245. That's pretty crazy. We'll go for a 220-ish. And then a 195 stop loss. So basically, 10 cents stop from wherever you get in. Looks like we're hitting that 205 area right now. We might get a little bit better of an entry if we're really patient here. CEAD. 204, not terrible. Kind of hoping for a little bit more. I don't know if we'll get it though. It looks like it's ready to keep going. It might come back down for a little bit of a consolidation here, but it's so hard to tell with a stock that's flying like this. We'll see. We'll see. We're up to 208, so we're not doing terrible on it. CLVS did in fact bounce off that 151 area. Hopefully someone took that trade. I'm going to go ahead and jump in on CLVS around that 155 mark. We're going to be looking at 165 at least with a 148 stop. So we're going to give this a decent size stop because we actually need that room. If you got in earlier, that's great. I really hope that you did because this is a pretty tight stop. If I was looking at it, I definitely would have been looking to get around that 152 area or maybe the 151 area. But, 152 was kind of the area I was gunning for, and I just forgot to come and look at it again. So that was my bad. So now I got a slightly higher than normal average. But did I say twos? No, I said ones. Okay. I think I was saying twos in the live, but I typed the ones, which is good. That's the important thing. CEAD is looking really good here, 213. We did in fact hit 218 there, almost that 220 mark, and there it is. So that is in fact PT.
Order filled. Order
CEAD taking some profits here and leaving a decent runner. We could see this just climb like crazy today. So I mean, we're already up another like 15, 16, 17 cents. So it's so hard to, to pull the profits at whoa, I'm hitting a lot of wrong buttons here. Okay, I fixed it. I don't know what I did there. Actually, it saved me a couple cents, but you know what? I'm not upset about that now. Went to go and sell out, and I hit like 3 of the wrong buttons, and it swapped tickers on me, and that was just very confusing. But looks like it worked out in my favor, so I'm not upset about it. We're all the way. I can't even like keep scrolling up this far. We're at like 236 on it. Looking very, very good. We just secured like 30 cents of profit on that. Crazy. CEAD should halt. You'd think so, right? You think this would halt, but I don't know. CED looking like it might break down here. Hopefully it doesn't. We're in at 669, so it's back down to about entry here. Oh man. Well, hopefully it starts to move up, but our stop loss is pretty tight here. So if it doesn't move up, you know what? It is what it is. We had a rev run as well, going up pretty high from $4 to 445. Again, we were kind of waiting for this breakout. We were busy with seed, but it does look like it happened. So hopefully we got somebody jumping on that rev idea as well. AUVI not really looking too hot here. $1,000 in the green. That's what I like to see. We're making money and friends. BKSY breakdown, so looking like it's not going great if you're holding onto a runner here. Yeah, that's looking not great at all. And same with ACTI. Rev's looking good. I'd say AERC is not really something I want to be playing, so I'm just going to close down that chart. CEAD is all just hitting that 240 mark, so we're still like well in profits on this. 245. Looks like we're going to be hitting 250 here very shortly. So that'll be probably my next point where I want to take some profits is 250.
Order partially filled.
Being your friend. Yeah, but we're making more friends. We're making new friends, and we're making money. It's looking really good here. 244. Yeah, Sea-Doo just died. No kidding. Yeah, for sure, man. Welcome. Experience is the most important part. Money will come after the experience for sure. CLVS is not looking too bad here. Looks like it might curl back down a little bit. CEAD just about to touch that 250 mark. Looking to take some profits at that point. So we're going to go ahead and say pick some more profits on CEAD at 250-ish. Looking really good. Really, really good. I'm liking this trade. Basically, now we have scraps left in CEAD, so I'm not really worried if this comes down on us. We won't be losing a whole lot, but I'll still be happy if we manage to hit, I don't know, 275 or something. I'm definitely not going to complain if we get some more out of it. I'll be a little upset if it runs again. We did miss, what was it, like a 20 or 30 cent gap on it from the last seed trade. Oh no, it was only like 15 cents. Yeah, about 15 cents. So it was only a 15-cent gap that we missed when we decided to exit the last trade and start a new one. So not too bad there. We still have CLVS opened, and we have CDU kind of closed off. If you didn't close it off, it looks like you're stopping out. I am definitely stopped out on it now, so it is what it is. Looks like it just completely gave up on us here, and it's down past that 200 EMA. Probably will continue down. I think I'm pretty much done with CDU. We have other things that are running pretty good. Same with BKSY, ACTI, and ADN. All of these things not looking good. Same with AUVI. Like basically just close down all of those tickers. You could probably focus on Rev, CEAD, and CLVS. These ones are still looking good. We might even have some new ones popping up. We have Fang popping up, so we can look at that. Fang's looking okay, not really great. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I will be. Sometimes it's needed to be an asshole to other traders to get them to listen, you know? I have no problem telling people they're stupid when they don't put a stop loss down, or they move
Order
it down, or
partially
they
filled.
decide to pull a Ross Cameron and average down or something like that. Definitely nothing wrong with hazing people for making
Order
bad
cancelled.
mistakes, especially when they
Order
did it on
partially
purpose.
filled. Order filled.
It looks like CLVS might be
Order
beginning
cancelled.
to move up a little bit here.
Order
CEAD coming
partially
down
filled.
for its pullback, which, you know, we
Order
really should
cancelled.
be expecting a decent sized pullback
Order
on
filled.
CEAD. It did run up a crazy, crazy amount today. I mean, it started today at 125. I think our first trade on CEAD is at like 160. Yeah, 163. So, you know, we're looking after this first little pullback here. We started to jump in here around 160. And then we've just ridden it pretty much the entire way up.
Order partially filled.
Yes, this could be definitely another
Order
entry
filled.
on CEAD off that 9
cancelled.
EMA at 227. I think I like that idea. I like that we might be taking another entry on seed here with a pretty tight stop. So we're going to go seed 220-ish. We're going to go for a 245 PT and then a 215 stop. So we're actually going to give it a fairly tight stop. I don't really want to risk too much. I don't want to risk too much on this. I think that we've made a lot of money on this, and we can potentially make some more. I'm going to jump in here. Got a pretty good entry there. 216 is not bad. What's the spread on this? Yeah, I thought the spread was a little bad because I'm pretty sure I pulled the trigger before 216 or 217. Maybe not. Okay. Any case, it's looking okay. I guess that makes a stop loss about 211 here. So we'll definitely have a good opportunity to hit that stop loss. It won't take a lot for that to happen. But that's a deliberately tight stop loss. We don't want to risk any of the profits that we have. But yeah, we'll see about that. CLVS starting to head down. Hold on, guys. It looks like we're kind of getting bammed. There we go. We got CLVS moving up again to 163. We're pretty close to that PT. 163. I think we were aiming for 165 on CLVS, if I am correct. Yes, I am. Okay, so yeah, 165. We could probably start taking some profit here at 164 if you want. We don't necessarily have to hit 165. I'm taking some oh, okay, we're already at PT now, so I guess we'll just go PT, CLVS. Taking some profits here. Majority of profits, I would say. Unless we see a breakout, I don't see this jumping up much higher. But I'm glad we did hit that. I could have had a little bit more profit if I was a little more diligent with watching it. It looks like we're starting to see a curl up on seed here, which is awesome because we came very, very well. I mean, technically speaking, if we had gotten that 220 entry, we would be stopping out here. However, by the time we actually got in, it was a little bit lower, which worked in our favor, and it looks like it is moving back up now. So we're looking good on that. CDU continues its breakdown. ACTI continues its breakdown. BKSY still not doing anything. I don't even care what ADN is doing anymore. And we don't have anything new. So basically, we're looking at Rev, which did make another new high, crazy high of 480 there, back down to 445. Hey, way to go, man. It looks like Rev is doing okay. I'm not really too keen on jumping in on this one yet because I still have to manage seed, which is at 230 here. Looking pretty good. CLVS still sitting at that 165, hit 167. I won't be looking to take profits until at least 170 on it. But seed at 230, you know what? That's not bad from our entry. I think we could get more out of it, but I am going to start to take profits here at about 235. Taking some profits on CEAD around 235. I think actually I almost know for a fact that we've hit our goal this month just today alone because we've had some really, really massive trades on Seed and CLVS. And a couple other stocks, they did okay. We made a little bit of money. Like the first 20 minutes was a little rough until we saw Seed pop up, and in this case, it went pretty crazy. But Rev did too. We haven't made any plays on Rev yet. I think that Rev is definitely a good opportunity, but I think it would be too much to watch Seed and Rev at the same time and manage both because they're both kind of playing the same, and I'm pretty familiar with Seed at this point, so I'm good with that.
Order cancelled.
Let's see if Seed can go higher here.
Order cancelled. Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
Yeah, I mean, it's doing pretty okay. The market's looking pretty good. I think ES is on an uptrend this morning. Yeah, it is. Going from about started today at 37.11 all the way up to 37.70. So yeah, pretty good. Looking pretty healthy there. We have CLVS still sitting pretty high. It looks like it could probably go higher. CEAD looking like it's pulling back a little bit, so definitely was a good time to take some profits. Rev up at 260 or 460, sorry. Tesla's up $50. Nice. Looking good. Seed, we're kind of waiting on this to kind of pick back up, maybe take us to 250 for our next goal of taking profit out. We're aiming for about 245, not necessarily 250, but I'd like to see 250 out of it. We'll have to see how strong it looks when it's going up. Been watching the stream for the past 10 minutes. It's got your heart beating fast. Yeah, welcome to momentum scalping. This is what it's like pretty much every day. That's not true. We have had boring days, but for the most part, it's usually not boring. It's usually pretty exciting stuff. They got Seed here, starting to look like it's making another move here. 240, just about 240 here. Looking at that 245, waiting to take some more profit at that. Gonna get ready here. Ready to call PT on Seed, just a little bit higher. Seed, come on. CLVS 166, so it looks like it's starting to move back up. Let's take a look at that. We wait here, 169, almost at 170. $169, 170. Come on, 170. That's all I want to see. We had a big drop on CEAD. We hit 242, looking like it's coming back down. So hopefully you took some profits out at that 242 area or 240 area. Unless you don't have a lot left. If you don't have a lot left, not a huge loss to see if this just bounces. But the fact that we didn't make a new high, this is starting to look a little bearish. So I would be a little bit worried about that. We did hit 170 on CLVS. Looks like we hit 170. No, not 171, just 170. But that's pretty good. We can start to take some more profits out. Taking some more profits on CLVS as we hit 171 here. I don't know what the hell I just typed in there. All right, 172. Looking good there. We'll have to see if we can push a little bit higher. We still have a little bit of a runner in that. CLVS actually, or Seed looks like it came back pretty strong here after that dip. So maybe we'll actually see this start to move back up a little bit more. It looks like we're still healthy on volume. We're still healthy on the MACD. Bands are still, well, they're kind of tightening in right now, but I mean, that it's kind of a given at some point. This has to actually consolidate a little bit before it runs further. So we'll have to see about that. Rev sitting up pretty high right now. We'll have to see. I don't know. I don't hit 100% every day. Let's see where we're at today. If we go to money board, we've secured $20,000 of profit today. That puts us up at that $58,656, which is a start from $500 this month, and we've officially passed what we were supposed to for our PT here. Rev's doing fine. I was just trying to see what chart I was looking at there that was moving. Thought it was Seed at 450 for a second there. As far as today goes, we're only at 94%. That can't be right. I thought we were over 100% for sure. I took a couple small losses. AVI, Seed 16%, Seed 22%, Seed, okay. Maybe it's not that high then. But we are past our not our PT, our goal for the month, which is what I actually was aiming for today. So hopefully we can keep going. I want to see at least 100%. Yeah, $20,000 today. It's not bad. That's about what I expected. I thought we actually did a little bit better than that, but I guess my expectations were a little high. Big brain trader. Yeah. Sometimes. Sometimes I take some pretty stupid trades, and sometimes I just get lucky and they work out. Seed was definitely a freebie today. I think anybody could have made money on Seed as long as they just purchased it basically at whatever point. The pullbacks weren't even really long enough to really stop you out. There might have been like one or two instances where you could have gotten stopped out. I mean, like that last trade we took, that was pure luck where we were trying to get it at 220, I think, and we ended up getting it at like 215 or 216, and definitely saved us with that stop out. But looks good. We still have a runner in this, and it looks like it might actually hit that 250 mark. It's pulling up quite a bit here. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. We are getting close to the end of the first hour. That's usually, usually things slow down like 20 minutes ago. So I'm actually surprised to see that things are still at least somewhat moving. We did see up to 173 on CLVS. Seed looking like it wants to go. I think this is basically going to be probably our last play before we just sit on our hands for the remaining time, because CLVS doesn't really look super playable anymore, and Seed is looking like it's going to be a much more risky entry if we try again. But if we can hit 250 on this or higher, maybe we pull out that 100% win today. Just maybe. Sea-Doo continues its breakdown. HC, well, actually, you know what? It's kind of looking like it might have bottomed out here. It might start to recover. It's kind of hard to say. We are below that 200 EMA, so I assume we're going to start to move back up towards it at some point here. So we'll have to keep that in mind. ACTI is still sitting down pretty low. Now officially below that 200 EMA. It could definitely keep going down. BKSY, not really playable either. Feng looks playable, but I don't know. Price action is really spotty. We've got minutes here where we've got almost no price action, and volume's pretty low. Oh, did that mess up the stream? Yes, it did mess up the stream. Hang on. Did it? No, it's still there. Okay, cool. You guys can still see the stream? I don't know. I got a notification that I had to disconnect OBS or something, so I'm not sure what happened there, but it looks like everything's working. We got Seed here, still sitting around that 230 mark. CLVS sitting up pretty high still, might go for a little bit higher. Yep, I started this month at $500. Although it was a little bit less risky because last month we were going our full portfolio into each trade, and we got to a pretty scary high amount. Where this time we're just doing 50%. We're just hitting 50,000 now, which was, I think we hit it a lot sooner last month. I think we hit 50,000 like the second week, where this time it's like the third week. So we'll likely see a slower climb, but we'll still probably hit about 100K by the end of the month. I would say at least 100K. Maybe more if the market's good. CE80 is looking all right. I keep saying that, but it's not doing anything right now. It's just consolidating. This is the scary part. It's consolidating, and it's definitely up really high, definitely up far away from that 200 EMA, but we are bringing up that average quite a bit. So I'm assuming at some point this is going to come back down to that 200 EMA. But yeah, we'll have to see. Rev is really weird. Yeah, that's why I've kind of steered away from Rev today. It's, it looks good. Obviously, there's money to be made here, but these candles are so big that it would pretty much stop you out on half of these candles. So unless you're buying in at a really low, like a really lucky and low opportunity, like at the bottom of one of these wicks, chances are you're probably going to get stopped out if you can't do that. And yeah, it's one of those stocks where you'd have to sit here and actually micromanage it the whole time to actually make money off it, where stuff like Seed's just basically been going up all day. So other than now, and now it's got a healthy consolidation going on. And then CLVS is also, it's a little weird, but this one's been moving pretty decently, so can't really fault it for that. AUPI still kind of iffy. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to play anything, I'd wait to see if Seed can break out from this consolidation and maintain its bullishness. That would be definitely something to keep playing. CLVS is another opportunity. This might come back down to, I would say, VWAP. If it bounced off VWAP, that would definitely be a good looking entry at this point. But you'd have to wait and see on that. I'm still waiting on Seed to hit that 245 because I think that's going to be our last opportunity today to get that 100% gains for the day. HCTI, I mean, like, it could be a possible play. It, like, I don't know, it's hard. This one would be luck because basically you're waiting for another big buyer to come in and snag up a lot of those shares. So you got low volume right now. So yeah, you'd basically be hoping for a big buyer. And you also have to keep in mind that we had a big buyer here. So if we had a big buyer here, if you start to see any profit above this zone, you're probably going to see a sharp knife back down when he sells. Because obviously somebody playing with a lot of money and they don't know what they're doing. Because they probably have a really high average from this. And you might even see a sharp knife down here because they might have to cut. So this is looking risky for both those reasons. You got that low volume, and then you also have a big whale probably looking to find an exit as well. Yeah, and then C, it looks like it went all the way up to 240, just touched 244 there, and all the way back down. So hopefully you secured at least a little bit of that profit. And hopefully you don't have anything left, as it looks like it is potentially heading down here as we do break through that MACD line there. It's looking a little bearish. We'll have to see if it can turn around. It could turn around pretty quick. We probably have a lot of buyers still looking to get in on this. That MACD could recede here and it could start to head back up. We are at the bottom band there, so there's a little bit of security in that, but I would hope at this point you're not holding a lot of seed left. And we've got CLVS still consolidating, nothing really going on with that. But yeah, I mean, this basically, yeah, this looks like it's probably going to break down, if anything. That's basically it for today. Just go over this one more time. We are at $20,947, closing out the day just under $60,000 from our $500 start. I can make this a little bit wider. Our win-loss actually went up to 75%, so we're actually breaking above the average now, and our losses actually were really tiny today, so 2 wins, 4 stops. Yeah, that's obviously that's not good, but definitely good to call it for right now until you see some better opportunities. Other than that, we hit 96% today, so we didn't quite get that 100%. We had a couple days this month at 100%, but today's not one of them, which seems weird to me. I just feel like there's something wrong with this. I have to go back and double check everything because I feel like we should be over $100 or 100%. We're definitely over $100. So we'll have to see about that. But other than that, guys, that's it for today. Hopefully you guys made some money. If not, I would definitely be looking at maybe a seed or CLVS play, or maybe even a rev play if you can manage it well enough. Besides that, nothing else is really looking great right now. So yeah, I will see you guys again tomorrow. Take care, guys.